Hello. So a little bit of a different video from the last ones I've been doing. Hyper empathy. Our neurodivergent children don't have empathy, so we're told. We don't have empathy. So when I read hyper empathetic, my ears prick up. I think, what are we talking about? So I thought I'd do a little bit of a video. It's not in depth, it's not scientific at this minute in time. There will be more on it. And to be honest, I think I've covered it in various different guises over time. But what is hyper empathy? So, have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the mood? Maybe someone's upset and suddenly you feel upset too, even if nothing has happened to you. If that sounds familiar, you might be experiencing something called hyper empathy. Hyper empathy is when you don't just understand how someone feels, you actually feel it, and deeply. It's like your emotional boundaries are turned right down. So instead of noticing someone's anxiety, your body responds as if that anxiety is your own. For many people, this can look like feeling overwhelmed in busy environments, being exhausted after social situations, struggling to switch off from other people's emotions, and sometimes asking yourself, why do I feel like this when nothing's happened to me? And some of that stuff is matter of, oh, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I must be autistic, I must be ADHD. Maybe it's we are just deeply hyper empathetic because we don't like being in that situation because all their feelings and all the people that we're taking into our bodies, and it is just crippling us. Wow, have we thought about that bit before? So hyper empathy is often in neurodivergent individuals, people with anxiety or past trauma, highly sensitive people, and parents and carers who are constantly supporting others. It's not about being weak. It's often about your nervous system being highly tuned to others. Again, everything comes back to the nervous system, doesn't it? And here's an important part. It isn't a flaw, it's a strength. But that strength is going to need boundaries. One simple thing to start with is asking yourself, is this feeling mine? Say it in your head when it happens. Is this feeling mine? That one question can create enough space to begin separating your emotions from someone else's. You can still care deeply, you can still be compassionate, but you don't have to carry everything. If this resonates with you, you're not alone, and more importantly, there are ways to make this feel manageable. So the weight you can't see. Something I want to share, because if you're watching this, you might recognize it in yourself. You're talking to somebody and they're telling you something difficult. And on the outside, you're looking calm. You're listening, you're nodding. But on the inside, it's loud. It's screaming at you. It's like your whole body is reacting. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts racing. And this is about desperate feelings. Like you need to do something. Fix it. Help. Take it away. Whatever for that person you're talking to. And even when the conversation ends, it doesn't leave you. You walk away carrying it. Later on, when you're on your own, that's when it really hits. It's like everything you held in comes flooding out. You feel drained, but at the same time restless, exhausted but wired. And underneath it all, there's that deep sadness. Not just for them, but almost like it's happening to you. And then comes a question. Did I do enough? Should I have done more? Why can't I switch this off? If it feels familiar, You're not alone. You're definitely not broken. What you're experiencing is a level of empathy that goes beyond understanding. It becomes absorption. And while that can make you an incredible support to others, it also means no one ever taught you how to put it down. And that's the part we need to start learning. How to stop carrying it. If you recognize this in yourself, we should be asking ourselves, how do you stop carrying it? The first step is really simple but powerful. Pause, ask yourself, is this mine? Close your eyes. Is this mine? Because when you're hyper empathetic, your brain doesn't always separate your emotions from somebody else's. The question isn't about pushing it away, it's about creating just a little bit of space. When you're feeling that intensity, your body is already in a stress response. So we start the body, not the thought. Try this. Put your feet flat on the floor. Press your hands together. Take a slow breath in and out. Nothing complicated. You're just reminding your body, I'm safe, I'm here. Now this is the hardest one. The urge to do something, to fix it, to take it away. It feels almost automatic. But here's a shift. You can care without carrying. Supporting someone doesn't mean you have to take responsibility for their pain. If you hold it in, it builds. So instead, let it move through you. Now that's going to look in so many different ways for so many different people, and depending on the type of pain you're taking on board. So go for a walk. Sit quietly on your own. Write it in your journal. Or even just saying out loud, God, that was a lot. You're not ignoring it, you're processing it. Sometimes you need something quick in the moment, which could be, I can care, but I don't have to carry. Say that in your head, say it out loud, whatever you need to do. I can care, but I don't have to carry. It's a small sentence, but it creates a boundary. And it's saying to your subconscious mind, this I do not have to take on board. So when it gets to so far, filter that out. Don't take it into my subconscious. Filter it out and put it there. Because I want to deal with it in the moment, but I'm not going to take it home with me. Really, really important. It's not about switching off your empathy. That's not the goal. The goal is to still be the person who cares deeply without it costing you your energy, your health, or yourself. Because you deserve support too. I hope that's a little bit of an understanding of what hyper empathy is. I am hyper empathetic. I didn't know. I struggle tremendously with people's emotions. I have done from, if I was to think about it, I can go back to being a teenager when I started feeling somebody else's struggles, somebody else's pains, didn't know what it was. And it's only in the last probably month that I've realised that that's what that was, from doing a lot of reading or listening to the audible stuff, going into a lot more on neuroscience, talking with Stevie, talking with other people. And it is difficult, very, very difficult to let go. That scenario I gave you about walking into rooms and that was basically my experiences. when I'm talking on a one-to-one basis with parents, I feel your pain. I've had that pain. So it's a little bit easier to deal with because I have gone through it. But I take it on board, and it is very, very difficult to let go. And at the end of the day, when I've had 2 or 3 parents, I am mentally and physically exhausted. And I never understood why. Because I'm thinking, well, I've had a quite a good day today. My children have been really good, and I've had no major issues. Why am I so knackered? I've been taking on other people's emotions. Not their fault. No, no. It's not the other person's fault that I'm taking that. That's just the way I'm built up. And I have to recognize and know. And I have been putting these things into practice, and it does help. In my rejection sensitivity video, I talked about how to manage certain things, how to validate, accept what is happening, and then move on. It's exactly the same here. Accept, is this mine? No, it's not. Okay. I can still help. I can still give suggestions, but I don't have to leave this room with that on my back. You need to look at, do I do this? Does my child do this? Really important. Our children are going to be hyper empathetic potentially. You could be as well. And is that what's making you tired and not actually the situation of what you're going through? Do you support an awful lot of people subconsciously or otherwise? Really, really important. I want to do a lot of work on this over the next sort of year. I'm going to bring in some people to help me because I think it's, again, something that will allow us to move forward with the RSD, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, and the hyper empathetic basis. I think there's a lot to help us move forward and feel a little bit more energized as we go on. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in our next videos. Thank you very much. Bye bye.